This video is about CELPIP speaking, part 1 to 4. Imagine this situation. You are sitting in the exam room, headphones on, microphone is ready, and a question suddenly appears on the screen, and the timer starts counting down. You have 30 seconds to think, and then 60 to 90 seconds to speak. No pauses, no examiner helping you, just you and the microphone. And that is exactly how the speaking section works in CELPIP General Test. So in this video, I'm going to break down speaking parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 in extreme detail, including structure, skills, scoring expectations, and the real exam level examples. So by the end of this lesson, you will know exactly how to structure your answers to get higher score. Okay? Before we jump into the first four parts, let me explain the overall structure. The speaking test contains 8 tasks in total, okay? And it lasts about 15 to 20 minutes. Each task follows the same pattern. Preparation time 30 seconds, speaking time 60 to 90 seconds. Your responses are recorded by the computer. So there is no human examiner in front of you. This means the system evaluates your response based on four major scoring areas. Self speaking scoring criteria are the first one, content and coherence, vocabulary range, and the third one is listenability, and the fourth one, task fulfillment. So, when we say content and coherence, it means how logically your ideas are organized. Okay, that we call it as a content and coherence. And vocabulary range, you know, right? The varied different varieties of vocabulary that you use. And when it comes to listenability, so your pronunciation, stress, rhythm, all that things comes into picture. And finally, task fulfillment. Did you answer exactly what the question asked you? Now let's move to the first four speaking task. Okay. The part one, we call it as giving advice. So here is the task structure. You will see a situation where someone asks for advice. Example situations include choosing a job, solving a roommate problem, managing time at a university, deciding whether to buy something expensive. And for these kind of prompts, you'll be getting preparation time 30 seconds, speaking 90 seconds. So this is the longest speaking response in the first four tasks. Okay. And there are some skills required in order for you to get a higher score. You have to give a clear suggestions, okay, in your response, and you should able to explain the reasons logically, and you should able to support your advice with examples. Many candidates, they only say you should do this, you should do that. That sounds weak, right? Examiners expect justification and explanation. Okay, so you can use this four-step structure. Make a note of it. First, you have to acknowledge the problem. Then you can give your main advice. Then you can provide two supporting reasons. Finally, conclude positively. Okay, so here is a prompt. Your friend recently received two job offers. Job A has higher salary but requires moving to another city. Job B has a lower salary but is close to family and friends. So your friend is unsure which job to choose. You have to give your advice. Now let me give my sample response. Hi Alex, I understand that you're in a difficult situation because both job offers have advantages. If I were in your position, I would recommend accepting the job with a higher salary, even though it requires moving to another city. First of all, a higher salary will give you better financial stability and allow you to save more money for the future. Early in your career, it is extremely important to build a strong financial foundation. Secondly, moving to a new city can actually be a great opportunity for personal growth. You will meet new people, develop independence, and gain valuable life experiences. Although being away from family may feel challenging at first, technology makes it very easy to stay connected through video calls and regular visits. So, overall, I believe choosing the higher paying job will provide better long term career opportunities. So, that's my response. Let me tell you why this will get you a high score. Because I have given the clear recommendation and I have provided the logical explanation. I have used varied complex sentences and, of course, a very natural conversational tone. Okay? And let's move on to the part two here. This is about a personal experience. This is very common. You will describe something from your life. You can include examples such as a memorable trip, or it could be a challenging experience, or it could be a celebration, a mistake that you learned from. So many things. I'm just giving you some of the examples prompt. And when it comes to timing, preparation 30 seconds and speaking 60 seconds. So this task is slightly shorter. And here you require skills such as storytelling ability, and you have to order in a chronological organization, emotional description. Okay, so your answer must sound like a short story. So when we talk about the structure, first introduce the experience, then you can describe what happened. Finally, you can explain the reason why it was important. Then at the end, you can share what you learned. Okay, this is the prompt. Describe a time when you helped someone solve a problem. This is my response. If you want, you can just pause the video, go through it, and then you will understand why this one will give you a higher score. The reason is here, if you see the response, it includes the chronological storytelling. And I have added the emotional elements. And if you watch, I have used a variety of vocabulary. And finally, a clear conclusion. That's the reason I'm telling you this response will get you a high score. Okay? Now, when we talk about the part three, so this one is describing a scene. So in this task, you will see a picture. You have to describe what is happening. Examples of scene include a park or a busy street, a restaurant, a beach, shopping mall, or a market, anything. Okay. And of course, when it comes to the timing, you'll get preparation 30 seconds and speaking 60 seconds. So here, in order for you to get high score, especially for the part three, you must demonstrate your observation skills. That is the first thing. And then you can use descriptive vocabulary, describing words, especially adjectives, and spatial language. Words like in the background, on the left, next to, behind, in the distance. So these are some of the spatial languages that you need to use when you're describing a scene, right? Now, where here is a prompt. Can you see here? You can see a picture, and you have to describe everything happening in the picture. Remember the structure. First, you have to start with the overview, then the left side description, moving to the right side description, background detail, and then overall impression. Now, let me give my response for this. Okay. This picture shows a lively outdoor market that appears to be taking place on a sunny day. In the foreground, several vendors are selling fresh fruits and vegetables. One vendor is arranging apples in a large basket while a customer seems to be examining the produce carefully. On the left side of the image, a group of people are walking through the market carrying shopping bags. They appear relaxed and engaged in conversation. On the right side, there is a small food stall where a man is preparing what looks like grilled street food. A few customers are waiting nearby. In the background, I can see colorful tents and more market stalls extending down the street, which suggests that the market is quite large and popular. Overall, the atmosphere seems vibrant and energetic. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Okay, next part is making predictions. So this is one of the most difficult tasks. You will see the same picture from part 3, but now you must predict what will happen next. So here your prediction skill will yield you higher score. The same thing, preparation 30 seconds and speaking 60 seconds. But for you to get high scores, the skills required are you need to use the future tense because you're going to predict, right? And speculation language, logical reasoning should be there. And you can make use of the important phrases such as, it is likely that, I imagine that, it seems possible that, in the near future. Got it? These are some of the example phrases that I'm giving you. Got it? And remember, you have to predict immediate future and try to predict possible developments. You can also predict long-term outcome, but for all these things, try to explain your reasoning. Got it? Now, let's look at the same picture again. Now, you have to tell what do you think will happen next. That could be your prompt. Now, let me just show my response. You can just go through it. If you want, you can pause the video, try to read it, and understand how I have given my prediction. So, as I told you, try to incorporate all the strategies, especially for this part 4. And the most powerful strategies used by top scorers are never stay silent. Even if you're unsure, keep speaking because silence reduces your score dramatically. And words like firstly, furthermore, however, therefore, that increases the coherence. We call them as connectors, right? And avoid short answers because a strong response should contain at least 8 to 12 sentences. And try to speak naturally. Do not memorize robotic templates. Speak like you're explaining something to your friend. Got it? So if you master parts 1 to 4 in self speaking, you have already completed half of the self speaking test successfully. Most candidates lose marks because they speak too briefly, they panic during the preparation time, they forget to organize ideas. But if you use the structures and strategies explained in this lesson, then you can consistently produce clear, organized, high scoring answers. That's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more self help tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.